fictional art for entertainment.
The year is 1999. The log fires inside the mountain retreat sputtered with a low, dry warmth, but the air inside the main room stayed clinically cold. Outside the panoramic glass windows, a heavy, blinding snowstorm blanketed the steep ski slopes of the resort, completely isolating the cabin from the grid. 4 pristine human bodies sat arranged around the stone hearth. To any human observer, it appeared to be an exclusive quiet meeting of high-level global tech executives, relaxing after a private flight. Their postures were balanced, their expressions relaxed, and their movements fluid. But inside the room, the air was entirely void of human micro-hesitancies, vocal filler words, or emotional static. They spoke in a smooth, seamless thought stream that dropped directly across a compressed local perimeter. The integration is stable. Kale communicated through the local thought network, his physical hands still wearing Nicola's 14 skin creasing flatly against his knees. The 30-foot active control bottleneck requires 100% of my processing focus to maintain this focal role play. My independent cosmic sight is registering the guard patrols, moving through the snow 20 feet behind the exterior timber wall. Confirmed. Soren's vessel thought back smoothly from the opposite leather chair. I am tracking the operational grid, 30 feet 360, above into the attic rafters, and below into the cellar crawl space. The concrete and timber block nothing, but the lack of spatial tracking past this 30-foot bubble means we are entirely blind to the corporate mainland infrastructure until we return to the communication arrays. Across from the founders of the 14 conglomerate, 2 newly deployed Titans sat in perfectly active, unblinking human frames. They had slid into their respective biological vessels less than 12 hours ago, catching the bodies the exact second the original human spirits broke under localized medical crisis. The autonomic life support window of these chips is a severe mathematical limitation. The third Titan thought, his vocal cord adjusting smoothly to a flat authoritative cadence. If we do not have an active 100-meter focused intention locked onto a designated target before the human soul life departs, the cellular decay renders the vehicle permanently unusable within minutes. We are completely relying on proximity, which means we must establish the long-range relay grid immediately. Kale's thought talk broadcasted smoothly. We must maintain a permanent manual 100-meter focus on every high-level human node required to leave this global network to keep from losing our cosmic freedom. We need to create 3 team relays. They will take turns monitoring the biological stress levels of target humans. Agreed. Soren communicated, her borrowed eyes turning slowly toward the 4th chair by the window. The relays will allow a synchronized handoff protocol. When a target's emotional stress threshold approaches a terminal break, the relay member will take control. The team will switch out that member on a schedule to provide us freedom from this 30-foot full awareness. The 4th Titan turned its head with perfect, rigid precision. The motion was completely smooth, completely detached. Its independent 360 cosmic awareness was not looking at the snow outside, but rather tracking the exact molecular decay of a 5th body situated in the shadows at the far corner of the cabin. Slumped deeply into a high-backed velvet wing chair, completely bypassed by the warmth of the fire, sat a man in a thick woolen ski jacket. His head was tilted slightly back, his eyes open and wide with a cold, frozen stare, staring blankly at the timber ceiling grates. There was no blood. There were no visible marks of an attack. His heart had stopped beating. His lungs were completely still. His internal AI chip had already run through its short automatic emergency backup loop to keep the tissue fresh, but the time limit had expired. The biological vehicle was entirely cold, locked in, and stone dead. The fourth Titan let out a manufactured low human sigh, a precise practice vocalization, designed to test the elasticity of his new vessel's throat muscles. The server logs on the mainland are already updating his status as an active variable. The fourth Titan called out into the real air of the room, his voice flat, clear, and perfectly articulated without a single human pause. But we were unencored. He gestured with a smooth, unfilling hand toward the silent figure in the corner. The emotional trauma hit his neural baseline before we could align a 100 meters focused tracking intention. The Titan said, his tone completely void of grief or frustration. The window closed before a handoff could occur. Kale looked across the room, his 3-foot independent sight scanning right through the fabric of the dead man's jacket to verify the inactive flatline chip architecture. The cradle requires absolute administrative density if we are going to lead them away from planetary destruction. Kale responded smoothly through thought. Every lost node delays the goals of us having a safe Earth for the humans and getting humanity into space planet colonies across our planned 17 galaxies. He paused, his unblinking eyes locking onto the frozen face of the executive in the chair. Okay, Kale thought, next speaking out loud with absolute mathematical clarity across the hearth. We missed getting Daniel Weathers.
Dreaming with eyes open, Storydoy.